So postnatal, you definitely, once you've had a baby, you'll want clearance from your healthcare provider that everything is healed normally and you are safe to really go after workouts again. And that usually happens at about 4 to 6 weeks after you've had your baby. They'll see you and check you out. Just know that there are going to be some issues you're going to have with your body after. Most women go through feelings of, what? What happened here? So for some women, the baby pushing out will actually separate the rectus abdominis muscles, which are your six-pack muscles. Those are the outermost abdominal muscles. And there is a nice band of connective tissue that joins the two sides together, but you can actually get a pretty wide gap to allow for that growth of that baby. For some women, everything falls right back. Done, easy, at 6 weeks, everything's tucked up tight, everything's great. For some women, that gap still exists at a fairly, if it's more than 2 finger breadths wide, we need to definitely not do traditional ab work on the mats where we're doing crunches and sit-ups and that kind of traditional ab work. We need to do something different to hopefully help that gap close. So that's one issue to be aware of. Also, loose skin is often a thing that women will see. If you've developed a lot of stretch marks in your pregnancy, just know you're going to have loose skin, because that's a sign that your skin doesn't have a whole lot of elasticity. So while I've seen rubber band girls out there walking out in their size 6 jeans after having their baby, they're the freaks. they're the ones that the minimum amount of women I see. The rest of them are like, oh yeah, got a roadmap of stretch marks, and they've got some sagging, hanging, loose skin. Some of that skin will tighten up, some won't. It's hard to know what you'll do, but just know loose skin can be a thing that can really discourage women. Just know that it's going to probably be there, and I think that's a lot less emotionally damaging than if you expect you're going to go right back to where you were and you look in the mirror and say, oh, what is this? Also, knowing that your shape can be permanently altered after pregnancy. So I've got a friend, and Arlo does too, who's a competitive runner. She is all out awesome. She is fierce. And she worked out through both pregnancies. She told me, though, after her first pregnancy, she had jeans that didn't fit. And I'm like, how is that possible? She goes, my hips are wider. She had some hip spread that happened. She is by no means not fit. Her pants just don't fit because her hips, her bone structure changed a little bit. And that's not going to go back. So there are some of those things that can happen. Also, there is a huge pressure to restore your body to your pre-pregnancy condition. Does anyone, you see the People magazines in the grocery stores or whatever with Beyonce looking awesome 8 weeks postpartum, and just please don't compare yourself to that image, because you can't possibly attain what she has with the resources you have. She has a personal chef and a nanny and a trainer, and she probably has half the day to get back into shape. So be realistic with yourself and don't put on too much pressure on yourself. Making good goals of behaviors you want to change and get out there is good, but don't get caught up in it too much. So postnatal exercise can assist you in a faster return to good fitness level and healthy weight, and I think that's pretty much universally understood and accepted. Also, you can increase your stamina and endurance. And moms, you need stamina and endurance as a new mom. They are like the #1 category, I think, who needs more stamina and endurance as a new mother. And new dads too. Sometimes it's rough on the whole family, but improved overall muscular strength and endurance. So when your baby's born, they're little and 7 or 8 pounds, they're going to grow heavier, and you want to make sure you're up to carrying them and all their stuff and lugging everything, stroller in and out the car. Like, it really does get to be quite a lot. So working out, make sure you're up to that task of actually physically mothering and doing those things. Also, reducing depression and anxiety. So when you get a good workout session where your heart rate goes up, you get a little burst of energy that you feel, is that endorphin release that happens, and that helps stabilize us and makes us feel good and nice. And so that's one of the reasons depression and anxiety is helped with exercise, even in the general population. But I think it really does tell women, if you say to yourself, I'm important, I am my mother, but I'm also a woman and a person, and it's important that I take care of me and that I set aside time for self-care. That statement really lets you believe you are important and valued, and I think that goes a long way. And boosting your self-confidence because you're out there and you're working on yourself and you're feeling better about the way you look and feel, that's important. And then the last thing I want to say on this is that women who have babies, oftentimes, and I fell into this trap with my first couple of kids, was, I'm just so exhausted right now. You're exhausted. Well, once the baby's sleeping through the night, then I'll be getting to the gym. Or now they're teething horribly. Once we're over teething, then I'll go. Oh, they're running into everything. When they're 18 months old, they are unstoppable little bundles of energy, and you can't turn your head for a minute. So, and they're not napping in the afternoon anymore. So, dang it, I'll get to it once we're over this phase or that phase, or potty training, or once they're in school, or anything else. What I'm telling you is it never gets less busy being a mother. It never does. So, moms who set aside time, who began and continued aerobic exercise postpartum, were less likely to be obese at 15 years out. And that really isn't scientific. I mean, I think they've proven it in research, but when we really think about it, a mom who dedicates some time of her day and week to self-care of exercise is more likely to keep that going as her kids age. Whereas a mom who keeps thinking a magic moment will appear and then that's when I'll do it, finds herself, in 15 years in a lot less good shape. So babies can benefit by your exercise because if you're happy and centered as a mother, obviously they benefit from having a happy mom. Every family, if mom's happy, then everyone else is happy, right? If she ain't, nobody else is. Also, your example of exercise does so much for your children or child. This one is my favorite because when I started running races, my third was just little, and I ran a marathon before I got pregnant with my last. And I loved that my kids watched me get up and come home, like coming home from runs. They were there to watch me cross a lot of finish lines. I wanted them to see me do those things because I knew that would impact how they viewed exercise and fitness later. And a really cute story, when my little guy, who's my third one, he's just, since a toddler, he's always just been more stout in his build. So I've always wanted to make sure he gets a lot of runaround time. And he likes to also get stuck behind a screen if we let him. So we have to make sure he's out there running around. So I told him when we were playing outside, and he was just running. I think he was 4 or 5. I was pushing my youngest one in the swing, I think, or something. And he was running around. And he came up to me and he goes, "Mom, my heart's just beating so fast." And I said, "Wow, doesn't it feel really good?" He goes, "Yeah, it feels great." And I'm like, that was a magic moment to me because I think he'll always anchor those feelings of feeling like you're exerting yourself is a good thing. There's a lot of kids out there that when they go run and play, they don't like how it feels. They don't want to do it. They think, ooh, I don't know what this is, I don't like it. So I was really happy that he identified that this was a good feeling and that this is something that's good for us to feel this. It's because when they grow up, they're going to have to choose what kind of lifestyle they adopt, and hopefully through your example, they'll be more likely to choose healthy things. And because it's been forecasted that the younger generations, at this rate of what we're doing with sedentary lifestyles and nutrition and other things, if we don't reverse that, these kids could die at younger ages than we do. Because they're just exposed to a lot more risk factors for chronic disease, the obesity, that all those are connected. So this couldn't be more critical. As moms, we can right the ship. We really can. If every mom out there decided we needed to change this, it would be changed. Because moms have that much power to do it. So in summary, most women can safely exercise while they're pregnant. Yay! Most women can, and this is good. And if they do, they can reap great benefits for themselves and their baby. So that's what I want you to walk away with. Also, walk away with exercise that is sustained long term throughout your mothering years, your young childbearing years. You will have lower chronic disease rates as you go through the rest of your life if you keep those habits going. And the second, I am here. I formed Me and Mama Fitness almost a year ago. It'll be the first week of March is when I'll actually start doing classes and things. And I started this because I wanted to help women. I wanted to help moms get on a path and find that path to better health and fitness for themselves and for their families. So that's My references, if you're terribly interested, I could get you these, so you can actually read them yourself, the studies and pictures. This is my very first client, Sarah, who I adore, and she was helping me with some of these slides, and I caught this expression unbeknownst to her, but I thought it looked like questions, you know. So are there any questions before we go to the demo workout? Yeah.
I do. So, you know, starting at 32 weeks, being exercise, like, can it really make that big of a difference? Like,
well, I would definitely say that the difference is greater the sooner you start pregnancy, but then to say, because I'm starting so late, I'll stand to gain nothing, I think is erroneous.
right.
Women can get to like 36 and 37 weeks, and I'm like, well, it's practically over. It's probably not the best thing to go ahead and start you on an exercise program, but you've got about 8 weeks still of potential time, and even if it's just getting out and walking or doing something not too demanding, it can't do any harm, and in fact could do some good. It's really hard to measure because we can't play it out both ways and see was there a difference, but what we have shown through research is as long as you're good with your health checkups with your doctor and everything's on track and looking fine, that you will not do any harm to yourself or your baby by doing this. You could do some good stuff, even starting late. Any other questions? Okay.